Moharan, Zayin Tiniana. We are in Not Gimel. For the newcomers and to review, it's always good. Rabbi Natan writes in the introduction of Likoute Moharan, when learning Likoute Moharan, you always got to be looking back on your shoulder. You're walking in a maze. You're walking in a castle. You got to remember the structure of the building. So Aleph, Bet, Gimel, you always got to keep looking back because the concepts change very quickly. And the chizukim are very strong. And one little piece of information can be like a flash of light, but you got to always remember the context that the Rebbe is speaking about. Each Torah is a building. Each Torah is a binyan. Each Torah is an edifice, is a tikkun, it's a mahalach in its own. The answers of each Torah and your questions are found within them. So when you're going to have questions in the Torah, you're not going to understand things. Things are going to be not clear. But when you have the whole Torah, you understand the ruach and the mahalach that the Rebbe wants. Many times the person could learn Likoute Moharan. I've heard it with my ears. That person could be reading word for word, translating literally what's missing, and completely explain the opposite of what Rabbeinu is saying. Because you take it out of context of the lesson. The lesson is a big lesson with a lot of pieces of the puzzle. You can take one word out and completely flip around what the Rabbeinu is trying to say. So always I like at the beginning of this year just to go a little bit back. We're speaking about a leader. A leader needs to be by definition a Rahman. If you are in a position of leadership, you have to use the attribute of mercy. The most merciful leader that we ever had ever was Moshe Rabbeinu. That his involvement in Klal Yisrael was not at all for his personal gain. No thoughts about yourself at all. The tzaddik, he's thinking only about Klal Yisrael. And the reason is, he's completely emulating Hashem. Why did Hashem create a world where there's so many other people involved in your life, and you can either be a taker or a giver? Because to emulate Hashem, you need to be a giver. Hashem could not have created the world. He decided to be altruistically to create the world and completely be on the side of giving. The more you're on the side of the giving, the more you are like Hashem. So the tzaddik that is completely giving to Am Yisrael everything he has, especially to help them spiritually, so this is the real leader. And therefore, even if we're not there, you know, you go to an opera, you go to see a band, you go to see an artist, you're not expected to be the same as him, but you'll be inspired to pick up your game a little bit more. By knowing who Moshe Rabbeinu is, you're going to start to act a little bit more Rahmanut, especially in which domain? Saving people from sin. The most pitiful situation that could be ever for a Jew is to be involved in Averot. It is the heaviest thing. It's the most heavy thing that could be weighing on his soul. And even though he might not know exactly what's going on with him, it can translate into a lot of depressions, a lot of tavot, a lot of addictions, all kinds of things because of the heaviness of the sin. So they're looking for escape.
What's sin?
Huh?
What's sin?
Sin is Averah. An Averah. An Avirah. So they're always looking for escape. The tzaddik is looking to give dat to a person for him to understand. It's not enough to stop you from sinning. It's not enough to stop you on the moment. I need to give you the brains, the mind, the understanding to realize that you don't want to sin. A teenager, you can force him to do certain things, but that's not the way to mechanech. A child, you can force him. Do this, don't do this. At a certain point, you're not going to work. You could sort of play with him a little bit, but as soon as he's not underneath your control, he's going to do what he wants. But if you inform him, if you empower him, if you explain to him, a certain point, a teenager, you got to say, you can do whatever you want. There's a Rebbe of Zvil. Rebbe of Zvil was a great tzaddik in Yerushalayim, Bad Mofet par excellence. He had a granddaughter that she barged in, a teenager, to the Rebbe. Rebbe, I need 5 lira. I'm going to the movies. All my friends are going to the movies. I'm going to the movies. We're talking about tzaddik of Yerushalayim, Bad Mofet, Kodesh Kodashim, that his grandkids should be going with the new wave of youth, the Noah, going to movies. What do? What would you have done? What do you think the Rebbe did? Chalir v'chas, a slap, close the door, yelling at him, that's not for us. You know what he did? He took out the few dollars, took a few, and he gave it to her. He put it in her hand. As she's walking to the door, he gives it to her with a smile. She walks to the door, about to get the door, she says, 1 second, my BT, I just want to tell you, if you go to the movies, it's going to break my heart in a million pieces. He gave her the money, he didn't force her, he let her know how much he cares about her by saying, it's really going to hurt me that you're going to hurt yourself by doing that. Do what you want. Understand? That when she doesn't go to the movie, it's her not going to the movie. We need to give that to people to make sure they don't do avirot. That's what the tzaddik wants. Then we said that all of these surin in the world do not compare to these surin of the avira. And actually we said that if you don't have avirot, you don't feel yisurin. And this is a deep concept. But
everybody has avirot. Huh?
Yes, everybody, and tzaddik asher ba'aretz rak tov. Everybody's avirot. But the question is, do you do a cleanup? Once I was rocking with Rav Kenning over here, and it was snowing. And you know, the Rav would always, it was crazy, he would always be aware of the surroundings, seeing the remez that Hashem was giving. What is Hashem doing here? So he's walking in Canada, in Montreal in the winter. They don't have snow like we have. And he sees the snow, it was on Park Haven, I remember exactly what it was. It was snowing, he's building up, and he sees the big trucks. You know, somebody comes to Canada and sees the trucks. We're well equipped, right? It snows, a few hours later, unless it's a few days. But
Montreal.
Huh?
Not in Montreal.
Maybe not in Westmount. They're cleaned up the same.
Here also.
Depends
Go
where.
to Toronto. As it's snowing, they're already picking up.
Really? Anyways, so the Rav asked me, he says, the Chora, you can ask a question. Why are they picking up the snow now? It's going to snow again tomorrow. It's going to snow again the day after. Why would they pick up every day the snow? So it's obvious answer, right? What's the answer? You don't pick it up today. You know how hard is it going to be to pick it up in 2 days? And we need to be walking around today. We can't move around with the snow over here. So even though we're going to do it again tomorrow, so the Rav said the same thing with Tshuva. The guy thinks, he says that I'm messed up today, messed up tomorrow. Messed up. What's the point of doing Tshuva? Anyways, tomorrow I'm going to do the Avera again tomorrow. Anyways, I'm going to mess up again tomorrow. So I'm always in the same pattern. So what am I going to say? Hashem, sorry, I don't want to do it again. You better clean it up every day. Every day you clean it up, and even if you're going to fall again tomorrow. Eventually, one day, it's going to stop snowing, the summer is going to come if you keep cleaning it up. But if you don't clean it up, it's going to be, you're not going to be able to drive, and it's going to be a lot harder when it comes. So yes, we do mistakes. But a person, when he does vidui in the morning, when he has itbodidut every day, and part of the if you have itbodidut every day, if every 24 hours you have a meeting with Hashem, you know, you mess up during the day, you have a problem. So what are you supposed to do? What is the derech that Rabbeinu wants when you mess up? So, Vashavadati, already messed up one Avira, I'll do another one and forget about it. And anyways, it's too much, and the Torah is too strict. And I'm living and sort of do, sort of don't do. And the guy's a little bit heavy with Avirot. But if you say, okay, here's a mistake. I'm writing it down in my pinkas. I'm putting it on my to-do list. Right now, I'm not mitbad. I'm going to shul, I'm sameach, I'm continuing, even though I get to itbodidut. I'll thank Hashem for the good things in my life. And then I'm going to take out my list, Hashem. I keep following this. I keep messing up. I have a big desire for this. I have to have vote. I don't have the tools to overcome it. I'm telling you, I don't want to do this. I'd rather not be this. I'd rather be like that tzaddik over there. I'd rather be like that person. I'd rather never get upset. I'd rather never indulge. But I'm just not able. If you keep begging Hashem, you clean it up. Even though you'll fall again tomorrow, so you're light. So Rabbeinu says, if you don't do the cleanup of your averot, so situations in life which could be hard or could be not so hard. What way will you be looking at the situation you're in? It's going to be a lot harder for you to deal with, and you're going to feel a lot more suffering if you're involved in sin. That means the difficulties that might come in health or parnasa or chinuch or shalom or difficulties or challenges. Person, how do you deal with that when it comes up? Do you look at it as a catalyst to come closer to Hashem? Hashem knows what He's doing. A little kapara. Baruch Hashem, it could be worse. There's much good in my life. And yes, I have this little difficulty, but I'm able to take it in stride and I'm not broken from it. And by the way, that simcha, when the Yisurin comes, it allows you to get out of the Yisurin. That will be your reaction when you're not a person that has pgamim. If there's pgamim, there's all of a sudden complaining about Hashem. How could He do it to me? Why does it happen to me? Everybody else has. I don't have. I'm always going through this. The suffering, the depression, and the upsetness and the rebellion that's going to come is not from the situation. It's from the Avera. It's from the Avera. Moshe Rabbeinu was in a pit for 10 years. Yosef Tzaddik was in jail for 10 years. The Gemara says there was Ish Matzliach. 12 years. The Gemara says it was Ish Matzliach. There's a midrash. It says Ish Makpitz. He was jumping. He was dancing. He was happy in jail. He was happy. You're not happy with being in jail. I want to say this many, many times over. You don't thank Hashem for being in jail. But you can thank Hashem for all the good things that you have, even if you're in jail. Understand? It could be worse. Huh?
You don't thank for suffering.
You don't thank for suffering. That's not true. You thank for good things. Atov v'amitiv. You say thank you when you made money. You say thank you when you bought a house. You say thank you when you had a baby. When a person dies, you say Dayan Haemet. When you lost money, you say Dayan Haemet. Now, when you lose money and you had a big loss, what is your, yes, that hurts. It hurts, but it's not ra. And what is the attitude that you're supposed to have when the guy was seized, when the guy went bankrupt, when the guy lost? What is the attitude he's supposed to have? Yes, that's hard. Yes, that hurts. It's tov. Hashem knows what he's doing. This was the best thing. And Baruch Hashem, it could have been in health. It could have been in the kids. It could have been in something else. It could have been this. Baruch Hashem was only that. And you know what? It's a good thing that I didn't lose all my money because I still have an investment over there and I still have some source of parnasa and my wife still has a job. So Baruch Hashem, it could have been much worse. So you find yourself all the good that there still is in your life and you don't let yourself become broken by the difficult situation. Understand? So what makes a person become sometimes hard situations, and it's not so bad. Why are you beating yourself up? Why are you going to drink? Or why are you going to do that? Why are you making yourself meshuggah? Okay, it's not so hard, but get over with. It's the averot. The b'gamim. The b'gam abrit is mebalben the sechem, that anything that goes not the way he wants to, all of a sudden, and then it's a spiral that's endless. Because then you're depressed, you do another averah, and then you have another addiction, and another another averah to cover up this averah. It's like covering up, you're drinking salty water. You're thirsty and drinking salty water. It's not going to help you. The averot cause the difficulty in life, not the situation. You have people's situation looks like, but they're happy. You have people in great situations, money is not missing, and family, and they have a wife and everything, and they're depressed and they want something else and they're not happy with anything. It's not the situation, it's the averah. And the tzaddik understands this, and that's why it's so pitiful to give to a person that don't do averot. And that's why it's so good that we sit and learn Torah every day. Even you're learning now Masechet Pesachim, we learned Eruvin, you're going to learn Zvachim. The Gemara says that learning Torah protects you from sin. It doesn't matter what you're learning. It's like a buffer that all of a sudden you're going to see a lady, you're going to see something, you're going to have a desire. Doesn't talk to me the same. You have a buffer that's protecting you from the ta'ava. Any Torah that you learn, not only when you're learning it, even when you're not learning it. When you're learning it for sure, your mind is now involved. But even you're going to go outside, the fact that you sat and learn Torah in the morning and you'll come back and learn something at night, the fact that you have these moments is protection. So when the Chachamim say, get people to learn Torah, it doesn't matter what. The Torah itself is machzir and mutam. It's protection from averot. So the tzaddik is just trying to give that. Let's see what he says a little more. At Ken Moshe Rabbeinu, we're in Gimel, near the bottom. It's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines from the bottom. And God, I need you to be my watch. We have another 7 minutes. At Ken Moshe Rabbeinu, alav shalom, bekodet shnaflu Yisrael beze'avon. When Klal Yisrael fell into sin, היה מוסר נפשו עליהם והתפלל בעדם. כגון המרגלים. Moshe Rabbeinu, when Am Yisrael would sin, he was involved in self-sacrifice to pray for them. Like the מרגלים. כיוצא, כי ידע שלפי קדושת ישראל ודקותם הם רחוקים מעוון ואפשר להם נישא כלל המסע הכבד של עוון. They're so far from sin that the heaviness on the soul, so the tzaddik also could be a chip for you. You go to the tzaddik, he's involved in taking away the dinim on you. You know that sometimes a person can have a lot of dinim on him, a lot of difficulties coming out, and the tzaddik can do things over there to take them off. There's stories of Baba Saleh. A guy came into the Baba Saleh, and the Baba Saleh started to give it to him and a little bit tough on him. And they told him, Rebbe, we never saw you like that. He said, what can I tell you? I saw the Samech men behind him coming, going to kill him. I think the guy, maybe Rabbi Yonatan, you check out the story, he was a driver for a truck. And that same day, there was a crash and he was saved, but he was saved. But the Baba Sali took off the din by giving him a busha. And the tzaddikim could do like that. When you come to Uman, you missed your flight, you didn't get your bag. All of a sudden, it's not the bed you were supposed to get, and you have a blocked ear for in Uman, and you can't get out of bed. All that is a tikkun. You came to me, the tzaddik is going to give you a little bit of bitterness, and it's taking away a lot of problems that you could have during the year. He's mamtik the dinim, it's on special. The tzaddik can do that. So the tzaddik is going to go, and you notice that the tzaddik, when he comes to Am Yisrael, when he comes to Hashem, he's always pleading the case of Am Yisrael. He's saying, Hashem, you created them with the Yetzer Hara, and it's not easy for them, and what do you expect from them? And when he's coming to Am Yisrael, so you did a big sin, and he's giving him tochacha. So he's being on each side he's going to get a little bit of tshuva from Am Yisrael, and from Shem he's getting rachmem, and he's making peace between them, taking off the dinim. Ubemet, mechan bayin navonot. What causes a person to do something wrong? Chas v'shalom hu rak al yedei she'en lo dat. The only reason a person will sin is he doesn't have sechel. Ki en adam over avera im ken nichnas bo ruach shtut. You have a spirit of folly, of foolishness, of craziness, a lack of reality, lack of perception. You understand what that means, right? If you were completely aware of the purpose of life, you understand completely that this is like a little passage. You're just here to get mitzvot. You're just here to know Hashem. You're just here to do good things. And we tell you, you're going to have tests. Part of the way of giving you good is giving you tests. It's like we said the other time. If I tell you that you're going to go outside and somebody's going to pour a bucket of Coke on your head, or is going to give you a slap or yell at you, I tell you, it's going to happen. You're going to go out, you're going to get yelled at. But if you pass it, I'm going to give you 10,000, 20,000, 100,000. It's easy. So when you have that, there's no nisayon. So if I tell you, this life is the challenge, this life is the test, this life, we're going to put you a lady at work, she's going to talk to you and you're going to have to fight it. That's what's going to be. So it's okay. You have the abilities to overcome. But if you have no dat, if you don't know these things, or if you're not strengthened in these things, and if you're weakened in them, and you don't really understand that also if you made a mistake, you can fix. I already made a mistake, what's going to change? You can fix it. If you don't know these things, so then it's natural. Avirot are natural. If we give you the clarity of the way that the rules of the game is being played, so it's easy not to sin. So the tzaddik is only giving that and taking away the shtut from the person. Therefore, rachmanut gadol min hakol. The best thing you could do for anybody ever is the biggest favor you could do for them. The biggest kindness you could do for them is to give them wisdom. Shitzrichin nirachem alav nachlis bo dat. To give him brains. Bivchinat ashrei maskil eldan. David Melech says, praiseworthy is the one who gives sechel to a poor person. He calls the poor person a guy lacking wisdom. En ani ela min hadat. The real poor person is here in his mind. Because let's be honest, a guy is just making ends meet. He has the minimum for groceries. He has a lot of kids. He's living very tzimtzum. He could be completely happy and become like a rich person. His demeanor in his life, and when he sits on Shabbat, and the simcha that they could have in the house. Yeah, Hashem didn't give us so much. But look how much good we have. That we're Yidden, and we have Shabbat, and we have mitzvot, and we can help people, and we know Torah, we're rich. I went with my son recently to somewhere, and I came and I said, Nachman, you think they're rich? We're rich. Look at it. Okay, we have scratch on the floor, and we have not all the same chairs in the house. No, we don't have all the same chairs. You're going to come to my house, you're going to see one chair like this, one chair like this. Why? Because I don't want to have debts to buy new chairs. I'll get money, Hashem's going to send me new chairs. But in the meantime, so you have all the nice chairs, but what is the simcha level of your house? But if we're singing and we're doing mitzvot and we're advancing in Torah, who is rich? I told my son. We're rich. Because we don't do averot. If you do averot, you could be rich and be poor. The poorest person is the person who's sinning. Our job is to have pity on them, to give them wisdom, to be able to stop them from sin. Now, everybody can do this. And I want to tell you one more thing. That there is always a Yetzer Hara to be involved in personal growth. We always want to grow ourselves. And sometimes, when we can have opportunities to help others, in their Avodat Hashem, we could have Yetzer Hara to say, I'm going to do for myself. Obviously, you got to do for yourself. You cannot give over if you're not full. The more you fill yourself, the more you're going to have what to give. We're going to see later that actually, the more you have Kedusha and Yirat Shamayim, the more your words are effective. But after Biken, we have to be aware that small diburim, little things that you could say, and I bet you if everybody will think in their own lives, was there not people that came and started to give you a little bit second when you were not holding there? Those little comments, that little book, that little come to a shiur, that little inyan of mizakir the people, that's what changes a person. So be on guard, and especially that you're going to work, you're going outside. The guys in the kollel, they have to teach people at night. They gotta give a shiur on YouTube. But the ones who are going outside, that you see people day in, day out. Why did Hashem put you next to that person? Why is he in your life? You have sechel, you have tefillin, you're coming to the shir. What are you going to do for that person that you know that he's doing things? Okay, Baruch Hashem, I save my life and I save my family. And what about him? It's like a boat. If you have a guy in a boat, he's making a hole. He has his seat, he's making a hole, he took a drill. You're sitting next to him. So you're going to say, that's his problem, my problem. You're not going to do that. You're going to say, hey buddy, what are you doing? You're making a hole. He says, hey, I paid my seat and you leave me alone. No, we're on the boat together. Am Yisrael is aribim nezeh nezeh. Your holiness affects me. Your averot affect Klal Yisrael. So actually, I'm doing a service to Klal Yisrael. And you will never lose by giving. You think that, some person thinks that, I'm going to just take care of myself, I'm not going to involve. Don't you know that actually, the more you give over, the more you get Torah. In this Torah, we're going to see it. The more you teach, the more you get new downloads. So actually, the way for you to grow the most is to be involved in helping somebody else. So now, if we're learning Likoute one together, and this is our mahalik for a few months, everything we have to do is here. Go outside, look around. Who could you give some dot? It might be the smallest measure of dot. It might be just mentioning God's name in the conversation when you're with them. But make a project out of them to try to give a little bit of dot every once in a while. Every once in a while, be friendly, be nice, and try to give and see who's receptive to receive some dot. That's the biggest service you could do to anybody. Chazak u'baruch.